Thank God for the internet. I just found one of the weirdest shell quirks I have ever encountered. You gotta understand, I love Bash. I deeply, deeply love Bash. I have been using Perl for most of my shell scripting purposes for my entire life, and I love it. I use a lot of Python for years, for decades, and JavaScript and all that. And so those other languages they have their quirks, right? But they're usually different kinds of quirks. So I want to show you a really interesting quirk that actually makes the case very counterintuitively that you should read interactive input from the user to the standard error channel. And I didn't say that wrong. I didn't mean standard input. I meant standard error. And that's actually the suggested fix out there, and it totally worked. So I'm going to present the scenario to you so you can just see how just whack this whole thing is. And I'm probably the first one to tell you that as much as I love Bash, it's weird. It's weird because it's evolved. It's got super powerful. It's like, what happens if you injected, steroid sort of powers into this creature that didn't really have good structure? I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Abomination. Let me just show you. So you've got this. You got this situation here. Here's an actual situation I just hit, which is the benefit of Zettelkasten. I can show you what I actually hit as a problem. So I have this command, and I want to. I have this command called zetcast pending post, and what that does, I don't need to tell you everything about it, but it takes the video that I just made that goes with my Zettelkasten Zettel, the description, the words and stuff. And it takes anything that's in my pending queue. Here's my pending. I have pending, and then I have pending IDs. And you can see the one I'm making right now actually is this one. This is the one that's in the middle of being recorded. When this finishes, it'll automatically change the number. It's really cool. I'll watch about that in another video. But the point is that I was trying to do all the things properly. It's hard enough to remember how to do a read properly in Bash. You got to have ifs equals if you want to do line returns properly. You have to have -r so you don't get the backslash messiness. And so you should just memorize that into your finger memory if you're gonna do this. And this is reading. One of the best things about Bash is all the different ways you can send data into a loop of any kind. And what this is doing is it's running the local function command cast pending IDs that I just showed you, right? So this ID thing, it gives you these IDs, and it sends the IDs to the it sends the IDs. I should probably do a filter on that. I'll do that later, because it should not do ones that are not yet changed. Anyway, so it sends the IDs to the loop, and so the ID variable gets the content of this every time. Here we go, command line ID, right? And then this is another embedded command. I can say, okay, go grab me the title of that ID because I want to do this nice, wonderful prompt that says, hey, here's, that's what -p does. It's a Bashism only, but it says, hey, it combines echo and, read into one line. And then it says, put it into tags. And if you wanted, by the way, if you wanted to put it into tags and have tags not be a line, but have it be an array and split on white space, you put a -a in there. It's pretty cool. I don't know how that will work with IFS set here, but anyway, the point is that I would expect in any other language, when I go to do a prompt and I'm going to read from standard input, this one down here that's reading from standard input, right? This is reading from standard input, would not conflict with this one. And now that I think about it, it's becoming a little bit more intuitive because I'm trying to read. It's as if I tried to do a read on standard input in the middle of another loop that already has standard input open. And so it does what you would expect, which is not what you would expect. So when I run it, I get this, which is not completely correct, right? So it says it would post with tags, right? It's like, wait a second, that's not a tag. I didn't type anything in. What is it doing? And as you can see, this is actually clearer now that I'm doing a video, it actually read from standard input. I meant this to do an interactive session and to prompt the user to type something in. Well, that would have been normally done through standard input. If you don't know what standard input and output is, go look at other videos. So it doesn't do it. Well, there's actually a fix for this. This is the craziest fix. You would never believe this, but read actually allows you to say what stream to read from. And this is just really crazy. So now I can say this. I can say to, which is standard error, right? And so by doing this little trick, this read line right here on line 212, that read line uses the standard error channel to read the user. So when I'm typing, I'm actually typing into standard error, which is really cool and weird. And then that goes in and it doesn't mess with my standard input. So I can have my loop reading standard input, which is a pretty common thing. And then if I have any interactivity that I want to do inside of there, I just do -u2, and that says, hey, don't use standard input for this. Actually prompt. No, I got a bug. Let's go fix that bug first. But as you can see, it's doing kind of what we wanted it to do here, even though it's not grabbing my ID. Or a different problem. Different problem. I'll work on that problem later. But I can put let's do this. I can put this stuff in here, and I can say some tags here, and it tags, let's see, would post some tags here. Oh wait, okay, so that was actually, I'm sorry, that was because it was trying to do, this is another bug I have to do, but now it's doing it the way I wanted. It found the title for it. So some tags here. So the idea is that it's going to loop through everything in the pending queue, assuming it's all been renamed. I don't do this while I'm streaming at the same time. And then it posts them out to Twitch and YouTube and to Twitter and all that stuff. It's a pretty cool little script. So that's the moral of the story. The moral of the story is add -u2. It will save you some heartache anytime you're reading input from the user. In fact, I wonder, let's try one more possibility on this. I actually no, because they both have arguments, so you can't really do that. It would have to be -u2, u2-p. So that's what you should do. And you'll be happy. You'll be glad you did, I promise. And your life will be much simpler. Now if I could only find my Vim where I'm doing all of this editing. Where am I? Is this me? Where am I? Is this me? All right, here we go. So there you go. That's all for that video.